this was a little too big for you.
Oh, little one, shit, nigga, on my son. Then one of them, man.
What'd you grab your cross for?
What you mean when I grab my cross? I don't got cameras on y'all on my son. They got no gun on me, man.
Hopped in, you hid in the car. Why you hiding in the car? We could have just talked.
Bro, I got a GPS on my leg, nigga.
That is THF Bezoo being arrested with 3 guns, one fitted with a switch. 2 days after Bezoo himself got killed in broad daylight, a 26-year-old rapper and mother named G. Ari was shot dead at a red light with her baby boy in the backseat. The street said the 2 deaths were connected. Nobody has ever proved it. Before we get into what happened, we need to understand who was involved, because the news covered this story in about 4 sentences and then left. So let me give you the full picture. Ariana Bosby was born January 1st, 1999 in Chicago, and she grew up to be known in the city's drill rap scene as G. Ari. By the time she was killed, she was 26 years old and living in Normal, Illinois, which is a small, quiet city about 130 miles south of Chicago. Normal is nothing like the South Side. It is a college town surrounded by open land, nowhere near the kind of environment that produces drill music. But Ariana kept coming back to Chicago regularly because that is where the scene was and not is where she was trying to build her name. She rapped under the name G. Ari, ran her Instagram at _GARRI, and she was genuinely working. Just 13 days before she was killed, she put out a video called Want All the Smoke through a production company called A1 Visuals on YouTube, and it had already reached close to 24,000 views. For a woman who was unsigned with no major label backing, putting out music in a scene as crowded and competitive as Chicago drill, those numbers meant something real. She also had a performance video called From the Rock through A1 Spotlight. The picture that comes through in her music and her online presence is of someone who was building momentum, not someone who was slowing down. She dropped that video on October 14th. She was dead by October 27th. Ariana had a young son who was a toddler at the time of her death. His father is a South Side Chicago rapper known as 757 BA, whose real name is Antonio Dickerson. He is connected to what is called the low end and 757 set in the city. By the time Ariana was killed, 757 BA had already been locked up since around March 2024, serving time on charges that came from a 2017 mass shooting in Bronzeville. That case carried 1 count of first-degree murder and multiple counts of attempted murder and aggravated battery. So Ariana was raising their son on her own, coming back and forth between Normal and Chicago, trying to keep her music moving while the father of her child sat in a cell. That situation placed her inside a world she may not have chosen for herself. When your baby's father is one of the most known names on a particular side of a Chicago street conflict, that becomes part of how people see you, whether you want it to or not. You do not have to do anything to get that association. People give it to you. Her own record had nothing serious in it. She had a cannabis possession citation on file, a minor first-time offense under Illinois law, and that was it. No violence, no weapons, nothing. In official records, she was just a young mother who made rap music and happened to be connected to someone who was. Now let's talk about the other person at the center of this story. Devonsha Collier, known to everyone in the Chicago drill world as THF Bezoo, was 35 years old and had been deeply involved in the city's street and music scenes for over a decade. He was part of Only the Family, the group built around Little Durk, and he was closely connected to the late King Von. In Chicago drill circles, he was a recognizable figure, not just as a rap affiliate, but as someone with real street history behind him. He had been arrested for murder back in 2009, spent years in legal proceedings, and was finally cleared in 2017. He talked about that openly.
I beat my body January 2018, and Von beat this shit a month after. And Dirk flew us down here, you feel me, took us shopping and shit.
In that same interview, he talked about his whole life, growing up in Cabrini Green, moving to the South Side as a kid, losing a brother, spending roughly 12 years of his life inside county jails and prisons across multiple cases. He described himself as someone who had been given chances most people never get and was trying to hold on to what was left of them. He was also someone with a long list of people who had reasons to want him dead, and he knew it.
From Cabrini Green projects, man, but you know what I'm saying? I jumped off the porch on the low end, 46 in the Bronzeville area, you know what I'm saying? Hyde Park, Bronx, slight Hyde Park, Bronzeville, you know?
Okay.
46, 24.
Okay.
44th and Princeton, you know, I migrated south when I was probably like 12, 13. Well, my OG been out south since I was young and since they knocked our buildings down. But, you know, I was already bad as hell in the projects, but, you know, I got my name for sure southbound though, you know.
Right. But you grew up.
Low-end landlord, huh?
But you grew up Cabrini Green.
Yeah, I was born in the Greens. I grew up in the Greens. You know what I'm saying? I got a name out there too, like, you know what I'm saying? I got a chance to get in the field, but I was just doing bad shit. Little baby kid shit, you feel me? I came southbound when I was like mid-teens. My OG always been out south, so I've been knowing all my brothers that's from out south since I was a puppy, you feel me? My grandma still stayed up north, and my OG moved southbound when they knocked our building down, you feel me? So she been out there damn near all our life, you know? No question.
Like you just said, Bebe kids. Is that where you get the nickname Bebe?
Yeah.
For being bad as hell?
Yeah, I was Bebe when I was a shorty, a puppy. Bad as hell, Bebe kids, y'all.
Yeah. So what was some of the what's a regular day, you know what I'm saying, for an 8-year-old Bebe?
Shit, that shooting taxi cab drivers with BB guns, throwing.
Two people who both lived in the same dangerous space, one trying to get her music off the ground and raise her son, the other carrying decades of history with him everywhere he went. Their stories came together in the worst possible way over the course of 48 hours in late October 2025. On October 25, 2025, around 3 in the afternoon, Bezoo was at a pick-your-part junkyard on the southwest side at approximately 3250 South St. Louis Avenue in the Little Village area. He was with two other men, described in some reports as companions or people traveling with him. It was the middle of the day, out in the open, and by all accounts, he was not hiding. Two armed men came towards them on foot and started shooting. Bezoo was hit multiple times in the body, in the torso and abdomen. The two men with him were also shot but survived. A video of the attack spread almost immediately and was being watched and shared in the drill community within hours.
The back door was wide open. THF Bezoo was lounging on 33rd and St. Louis, where people sell elotes. It'd be garage sales on gates and shit like that. For some reason, he was loafing over here, back door wide open. To me, somebody got him.
Bezoo was rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital and was pronounced dead early the following morning on October 26th. His wife Tiffany confirmed the news on Instagram. He was 35 years old. Chicago police had no official motive, no named suspects, and no arrests in the hours and days that followed. Now this is where things start moving fast and where the streets started talking in a way that would shape how people understood Ariana Bosby's death. Within hours of the news breaking about Bezoo, people started speculating online about what happened and who was behind it. And then 2 days later, on October 27th, the conversation shifted entirely. At around 4:48 in the afternoon, Ariana Bosby was driving her black 2014 Chevy Cruze through the 7600 block of South Vincennes Avenue in the Greater Grand Crossing neighborhood, not far from a McDonald's restaurant. Her toddler son was in the back seat. She stopped at a red light. A second car pulled up right next to hers at that same light, and someone inside opened fire on her. She was hit multiple times, including in the stomach. The other car drove away. Her son was not physically hurt.
Is in critical condition after being shot in West Chatham this afternoon. CBS Skywatch was over the scene at 76th and Vincennes about 45 minutes ago. Police say the 26-year-old woman was sitting in her car when someone ran up and started shooting. No one is in custody.
Chicago police arrived quickly and transported Ariana to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where she was listed in critical condition. She did not make it. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office identified her as Ariana Bosby of Normal, Illinois, and confirmed that she died from multiple gunshot wounds. Within hours of her death, the streets had already built a story around it. The narrative that spread across Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, and X went like this. Ariana had allegedly spotted Bezoo at the auto yard on the 25th and passed on his location, which allowed the shooters to find him and carry out the attack. Some versions of the story said it was not Ariana herself, but someone else in her circle who did it. Another version said that 757BA's people were online making jokes and celebrating Bezoo's death right after it happened, and that is what brought the attention back to Ariana. Whatever version you heard, the conclusion was the same. She was killed 2 days later because of her connection to the 757 side. YourWeb reported on the speculation and was careful to call it exactly what it was, writing that bloggers were speculating her death may have been retaliation for allegedly sharing Bezoo's location. Meanwhile, YouTube channels were running with titles that stated it as a settled fact, using language like real proof why GRE was killed after the death of THF Bezoo, pulling views on a theory that had no official evidence behind it at all.
It was basically 100 shots that was basically fired at them, so that was a switch. Basically what was reported was somebody had spotted Bezoo in them, you know what I'm saying, and bent the block and came back around and up fire on them, you know what I'm talking about. And basically we don't know who this can be and who might can be, because the nigga be into it with so many people, you know what I'm talking about, diss so many people, you know what I'm talking about. That's why it's not good to diss, because if you out here dissing, my nigga, you know what I'm talking about, you don't know where that fire can come from. You know what I'm talking about? And if you out here dissing, bro, you might as well tuck yourself under a rock, hide yourself in the crib, or get some top flight security or something, man, because at the end of the day, people gonna be at your head. A lot of people ain't taking that lightly, and a lot of people gonna get they want their lick back, and they wanna see what you talking about, so they gonna pull up on you, you know what I'm talking about. And Bezoo is being as old as he is, you know what I'm talking about. You done let dirt gas you up, man, and you running around these trenches thinking it's TV for kids.
People close to Ariana and connected to the 757 side pushed back hard on the location-dropping story, saying she was not involved in anything like that and calling the rumor completely false. On Reddit's r/Chirocology, the reactions were mixed, with some people treating the retaliation theory as believable given how close together the two killings happened, and others pointing out that nobody actually had proof of anything and that a mother just got shot in front of her baby. 2 killings, 2 days apart, both targeted and carried out in daylight on the south side. Whether or not they were connected, both of those people were gone, and nobody had been arrested for either one. Chicago Police Department classified Ariana's death as a homicide and handed it to detectives from Area 2 and the 6th District, which covers the greater Grand Crossing area where she was shot. From the very start, the police released almost nothing about the case. No description of the shooter, no description of anyone in the second car, no details about what clothing they wore or how many people were involved. The intersection where she was shot has cameras nearby, and the McDonald's right there would almost certainly have outside camera coverage, but none of that footage has ever been described or shown in any official statement. The only real investigative update that reached the public came about a week after the killing. Police put out a BOLO, which stands for Be on the Lookout, for a white Ford Fusion that they believed was connected to the shooting. Early scanner reports had mentioned a black Charger as the suspect car, but that lead went nowhere and was replaced by the focus on the Fusion. Using automatic systems that read license plates as cars pass certain points on major roads, both Illinois State Police and Chicago Police were able to track the white Ford Fusion going north on the Dan Ryan Expressway, starting near 83rd Street and then continuing on to the Eisenhower Expressway, heading west. On approximately November 3, 2025, the white Ford Fusion was stopped at the intersection of Jackson and Wood Streets on the near west side of Chicago. Officers pulled it over and brought in one male occupant to questioning. A forensics team went through the whole car looking for evidence like bullet casings, DNA, fingerprints, and anything else that might connect it to the shooting. Then police said there was no probable cause to hold or charge the man they had detained, so they let him go. No arrest, no charges, and nothing has been said publicly about what the forensics team found in that car. This whole development, the bolo, the chase, the stop, and the release, was reported not by the Chicago Sun-Times or CBS Chicago or any of the major news outlets, but crime watch pages on Facebook called Chi-Town Crime Chasers and Sub.News, which listen to police scanner traffic and post updates in real time. The mainstream press covered the shooting itself and the victim identification in the first 2 days after it happened, and then moved on completely. There was no follow-up, no investigation pieces, no family interviews published.
This is what happens when you live by the sword, you die by the sword. This is what happens when you gang affiliated. The police don't give a fuck about your murders. Y'all heard them on the police call type shit. Another day, another dollar. November 5th, now this is what's crazy to me. November 5th, 2014, 6:15 a.m., he went to jail for a body. At this time, he was 24. He killed somebody. First-degree murder was the charge they gave him. First-degree murder type shit. Now here we go. It's a couple weeks from November 5th. It was the anniversary of his first body, and the zoo, Mr. Zoo, then got put up by the zookeepers type shit. They didn't tame this nigga. Is you crazy? Type shit. Grand opening, grand closing. Case closed already. They're not gonna find out who did it. They're not gonna give a who did it. Type shit. They know that. Now we just gotta wait for street justice. Is anybody left? Is anybody left that could help him? THF Litlaw trying to be a real rapper. THF crack in jail for touching on lit girls no spots. Type shit. Bezoo was hiding for a long ass time, according to Lizzie Osama. He was broke as hell in tank tops and shit. His last charge, he was caught smoking crack in the alley. Damn, no. Look, he got caught. What was his last charge? You fucking crazy. His last charge. To me, this sound like smoking crack in the alley. He was down bad. Possession, con substance, except A&D, parking in alleys, type shit. Parked in the alley, possession. What you was doing? And y'all, the police not about to give no fucks. It's over with. Like I said, grand opening, grand closing. Like, comment, subscribe. Rest in peace to him, but he wasn't a good person though. I know. To the good, he wasn't a good person. It's over with for that shit. This your boy Big Keys against the world, and you was on 33rd in St. Louis. Was you going to the Swaparama? Was it a flea market over there? What was you with 3 other niggas at 3 p.m. loafing in a Honda Accord, 2020 Honda Accord loafing type shit? Ain't no way type shit. But this your boy Big Keys against the world. I'm gonna end it with the police call. Well, what was said in a Honda Accord? Rapper money, y'all riding in Hondas. Ain't no way. I'm up out of here.
As of April 2026, the case remains open and unsolved in every official record. No suspects have been named, no arrests have been made, no one has been charged. Cook County court records show no case filings connected to Ariana Bosby's murder at all. Chicago's own homicide data lists her under classified homicides with no clearance, meaning nobody has been held accountable. Police have not made an official connection between Ariana's killing and Bezoo's murder. They have never confirmed a motive for either case. No person of interest has been named either. All the talk about location dropping, about retaliation, about who did what and why has stayed exactly where it started, on social media, in comment sections and Reddit threads, with no verified evidence attached to any of it. Gunmemorial.org has a page for Ariana with over 660 candles lit. The Gun Violence Archive has her logged as a fatal incident in their national database. Those are the places that hold her memory now, while the case moves no further forward in any official channel. What makes this whole situation harder to sit with is the picture of what she actually had going on when she was killed. She was 26 years old, raising her son alone while his father was locked up, putting out music that was starting to land, building something real with the limited resources she had. The video she dropped 13 days before she died was still picking up views.
They know I have to walk on this bitch. Big G.I.R.E. the biggest, Big G.I.R.E. the biggest. Yeah, his friend a fan, he mad, he on me, that ain't my. I'm dropping the thread to drink the coke with all my. One leg up from the back and he pulling my wig, now I miss. They stalking my page, comparing some kids, little bitch, that ain't my. Said he ain't want me, I went to who did, so now it's really a. Step on shit for all my fallen kings, that was a. I do what I want, they do what they can, so they gon' make it a. Big G.I.R.E. the biggest, I'm one of none, that's really the. Boss lady a problem, KP she a problem. Pulling up any and everywhere to fucking solve them. They can't handle a bad bitch, have a whole way, I'm always a. It's cool when they do it, but soon as I do it, then now I'm a fucking. I beat him, he beat him. He gon' push up, beat the back, he say I scarred them. I'ma say what I want, they won't do shit, they ain't no. Told me if I leave, he gon' tweak out and have a. He with me for a week, fucked up, my sheets became a. He want me to keep it C, but that's gon' be a. Think they know about me when I clock my T and they say. He gon' up his Drake, gon' play about me, say do we have a. I say do we have a. Bitches ain't never know. Cause bitches don't want know. He gon' up his Drake, gon' play about me, say do we have a. Bitches ain't no problem. Bitches ain't no problem. Bitches ain't no problem. Bitches ain't no problem.
Ariana was not done. And then she was at a red light on a regular Monday afternoon, and someone ended it, with her child right there watching from the back seat. Her son was physically unharmed. He walked away without a single injury. The young man is going to grow up without knowing his mother, and as of right now, no one has faced any consequences for what happened to her. Do you really think Ariana set Bezoo up to be killed? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Also, click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like it. See you in the next one.